Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to talk about the job and the responsibilities of the ushers at the wedding. Yes, the ushers. When was the last time you seen an usher at a wedding? All right. Hey everyone, so usher, I was thinking about other aspects of weddings lately and how one of the things that I haven't seen in the wedding industry in a while, I don't know if it's because I'm doing more weddings at venues and less in the church, because back in the day, a church always had ushers we're going to talk about the jobs and responsibilities of an usher, regardless of at a venue and or at a church. So the responsibility of an usher is basically you're ushering people in. So let's talk about a scenario at a church and you are at the coming up the stairs and you're a guest and it's a husband and wife walking up to the stairs, and there should be the responsibility of an usher should be, once they come walking in, back in the day it used to be bride or groom's side. I'm finding a lot of weddings are not doing that anymore, and I kind of feel like good about that because it does even out the rows. I feel like sometimes the groom has more family that came in from out of town, so they have a lot more people on one side, so they end up filling up the church or the venue more on the other side. Aesthetically, I feel like if you just fill them in on both sides, regardless of picking side, a lot of people have signs on there. Don't pick a side, just pick a seat, don't pick a side. And I like that idea and mentality better, so it doesn't cause a separation of some sort. So I like that fact of people coming in and doing something like that. So the responsibility, a usher, 2, 3, is to get them when they come to the edge of the aisle, and then arm goes out, the female puts their arm through your sleeve, and then you walk them down to their thing. So one of the jobs is passing out programs. If there's a program involved, meaning, which I don't see too many of these anymore either, where it's like bride's name, groom's name, where they were from, when they were born, information about, how they met, their first date and things like that. Some of the programs will say what's coming next. We're starting hopefully at 1 o'clock. Starting at 1 o'clock, and then so-and-so is going to do a reading, and then they're going to do communion, and then they're going to do some offerings, and some people are going to come up and bring, a couple of offerings up to the thing. Then we're going to have some more speakers, and so on and so forth. There's a little bit more of a detailed itinerary inside of there, and some people are okay with that, and some people do it, and some people don't. So putting that part aside, if there's a program, the job of the groom, job of the usher is to escort people down to the front of the row. And I always tell people, start the first 2 rows on both sides are usually saved for immediate family or parents and grandparents with wheelchairs of some sort. So never the 2 first rows are occupied. That's part of the wedding party or people that come walking in later on. So 3rd row, start planning on both sides. Some on this side, some on this side, and work with the other usher to say, okay, put them on the right, put them on the left, just so they start to fill in the rows all the way back evenly. It's very important when it comes to that for aesthetically, because I always take a wide shot of the back of whether it's a venue or a church. I come back as far as I possibly can, and I get the width of the room with a 16 millimeter, just so I get how many rows are full. Some of these churches are ginormous, and they go back like 75 rows, and there's only people in the first 4 rows, and then there's more people on one side than on the other. So you just got to play with it a little bit. But the job and the responsibility of the usher is to usher people down. Each person that goes bringing them down puts them on the right, puts them on the left. You put them on the right, I'll put them on the left. You put them on the right, and so on and so forth, just so that there's a little bit more evenness as they're coming all the way back to the rows. Have people move in just a little bit, and things like that, whether it's at a venue or a church. So the second part is instructions. The usher needs to know if there's any instructions, like it's an unplugged ceremony. As they're escorting people down, they should be telling them, here's your program, just so you know there's no cell phone pictures being taken once the ceremony starts and the procession starts. That's a job for them. Another job for the usher is You could be relaying messages. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you go tell the groom to make sure that whatever, he has this in his pocket? Does the best man have his rings? Little things like that. That's the job of an usher, is to go back and forth from the back, because it will be less conspicuous when an usher does it. So they can help with things like that. Also, if the doors need to be closed so that the bride can come out and get ready to come down the aisle, that is a job of an usher, is to make sure they can block things off so the bride can get to where she's got to go. If they want to close those doors so the bride can come up the stairs and get off to the side room, open the doors back up again and escort some more people inside of it again. So ushers are very, very needed and necessary. And some people feel like because they're an usher, they're not part of the wedding party. I disagree with that. There's groomsmen, best man, groom, maid of honor, bride, bridesmaids. But then there's also ushers that are part of the wedding party also. So I always want them in part of pictures also, just to make sure that they're part of the day. They might not per se be, part of the wedding party. I do include them because they're part of the day. Their job is very important to make sure everything stays on track, running errands and getting information to people and running water to people and things like that, and still escorting people down the rows. So I started off this video when was the last time you actually seen an usher inside of a church? It doesn't happen very often anymore, and I don't know why. I feel like it's a necessary part of that. Sometimes the groomsmen are all up in the back. Sometimes the best man and the groom is up in the back, and then the rest of the groomsmen are in the back of the church. So the best man are hidden behind the altar. They go up there. So the groomsmen, sometimes they come down by themselves. Sometimes they'll come down with one of the bridesmaids. So they'll walk down together. I'm going to interject this really quick. If you are a wedding party and you are walking down the aisle with one of the bridesmaids with a groomsman, do not walk fast. I always tell the brides, take your time. Don't walk too slow, don't walk too fast, and if your guy you're walking with is walking too fast, pull him back just a little bit. It gives me, the photographer, time to get out into the aisle, click, 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 step back out. You guys come walking past us, you guys go up to the front, and then go off to your both sides, kind of thing like that. So when groomsmen, when you do get down there, give him a high five, give him a fist bump, or shake his hand or a hug or something, because he's standing there watching all of you guys come walking down the aisle. And when you come down and you just go like that, give him a hug, give him a fist bump, give him a high five or something, because he's standing there nervously anxious and stuff like that. So he picked you for a reason, so support him. So that was a little bit of 2 cents inside of there, what I like to see, because now as I'm turning, I get you walking past me, I get a shot of you giving the best man and the groomsman and the groom, I get a shot of you and the groom high five or giving him a hug or some sort of something, interaction, and then you go back into your spot. So I also did another video I will link up in the top over here, the responsibilities of the wedding party, the responsibility of the best man and the responsibility of the maid of honor. I did 2 videos for that. I will put the link in the description down below. Wedding parties are very important. It's not like you just show up and you're there for yourself. You're not. You're there for them. So the jobs of the usher, that's the jobs of the usher. If you guys can think of anything else, put it down in the description down below. And if there's anything like, when was the last time you've seen an usher at a wedding with the intent of ushering and escorting people in? People are not doing that anymore. So it's 2025. I don't know if it's a trend that has gone away or it's something that needs to be brought back in, but when you need help and you need guidance, pass the programs out and stuff like that. Relay information. Hey, it's an unplugged wedding. That's part of the day also. But relaying information to the groom that's in the back, and the bride say, hey, don't forget the rings, or don't forget this. Do you have this? So ushers have a multiple tasks at hand when it comes to that. But if you're going to be an usher, don't think of it, you're not part of the wedding party and you're not important. You are. You are part of the day. So thank you everyone for coming back to the channel. If you have any comments, leave them down below. I will be doing another video coming out on what a photo wrangler is. It is different than a shot list for the photographer. So stay tuned, and thank you guys for coming back to the channel. And remember to smile more, because it sure does hurt less. Peace.